Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Kodash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Like double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone Rule, who have been a great example to his younger brothers in the truth. And peace and blessing to the hopeful elect, Lord willing, this edifying lesson. And I'm going to get straight into it in this video from the brother Hopeful Elect 3. And Esau going in on the shameful spewing that's being brought upon their glory. In which this dude could be an Israelite, but I'm saying Esau because he looked like an Edomite. So Lord willing, this edifying, we're going to get straight into it. As a matter of fact, we'll start with that Obadiah. This Obadiah for my first play. This the book of Obadiah, chapter 1 and verse 10. It reads, "For the violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever." It say, verse 11, it say, "In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captives his forces, and the foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them." So, and this was going back to the Babylonians. Esau been broke that brotherly covenant, So like, let me hey, take that shit off. Yeah, but Esau been broke that brotherly bond, covenant, or whatever you want to call it, between us and them, But they still to this day quick to say we brother. Nah, nigga, we ain't brothers, man. Y'all fucked up, and we enemies, really. It say, "In the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that strangers carried away captive his forces, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was as one of them." It say, "But thou shouldest have not looked on the day of thy brother. Thou should have not have looked on the day of thy brother, in the day that he became a stranger. Neither shouldest thou have rejoiced over the children of Judah in the day of their destruction," during the time of the Babylonians. It say, "Neither shouldest thou have spoken proudly in the day of distress." Which that's pretty much the point. The point is violence. The violence against our brother Jacob. And Esau in the future came, and took us into hardcore slavery. Put us on them ships. Because it was speaking about the Babylonian captivity, but years in the future, Esau put us into captivity, which was the transatlantic slave trade. And Esau did us worse than all the nations, man. And he, in the time of Jacob's trouble coming, he gonna do even worse. Damn, man, yo.
Slavery in America was not some abstract sin we can tidy up with footnotes and cartoons. It was a daily terror, a system built on the breaking of human beings until they were stripped of name, lineage, and hope. To be enslaved was to live every waking moment under the threat of violence so casual it was indistinguishable from the weather. A whip split your back for moving too slowly. A lash fell for daring to look a man in the eye. A child
The scripture say for the violence. Oh, so like it. I gotta get my charge. I hate when this shit do this.
sold away from his mother.
Dang. got my earphones in, but I can't hear the video through the earphones for some reason. So like I'm going to get my charger. Yeah, but he was going into shit. I don't want to restart this. Let's raw. Like Pastor be saying. Video going up raw. Like it.
Beings until they were stripped of name, lineage, and hope. To be enslaved was to live every waking moment under the threat of violence so casual it was indistinguishable from the weather. A whip split your back for moving too slowly. A lash fell for daring to look a man in the eye. A child was sold away from his mother as easily as a mule, and the screams that followed were drowned out by the auctioneer's call for bids.
Let's get some of these curses. Like it. I can't hear. Make sure that's all good. I can't hear it anyway.
There is no softening.
Let's get some of them curses because he was going into and it's just milk. I mean, back to the basic type script list because we are the Israelites, man. Can't nobody say they been through what the Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans been through, and we fit these curses to the T. Yeah, we fit these curses to a T. So let's go. What video is
this? There is no clever spin that makes bondage preferable. Screams at a whip split your back for moving too slowly. A lash fell for daring to look a man in the eye. A child was sold away from his mother as easily as a mule.
And that's one of the curses. This the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. It reads, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord Yahweh, to observe to do his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." And let's jump to the point. Going into how we were sold, they just take your kids. This was the displeasure of the Lord. This the Lord being angry with us. And that's why these things came upon us. This the book of Deuteronomy 28 and 32. It say, "Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail for longing all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand." So it wasn't shit you can do.
The screams that followed were drowned out by the auctioneer's call for bids. There is no softening this. There is no clever spin that makes bond.
Yeah, and that was a wicked ass practice, man. For you to take a person's children and send them all over the world, off with God knows who, not knowing, Hey, man, we gonna fuck you devils up, man. You motherfuckers gonna pay, and we ain't gonna be doing the wicked shit you was doing, but you gonna pay, goddammit. We ain't gonna be splitting up your family and all that. No, but we gonna get you. We ain't butt breaking you. We ain't gonna do the demonic shit you did, but we gonna get you back, and it's gonna be far worse. And righteousness, man.
It's preferable. It was a theft of life day after day for generations. Enslaved men and women were forced into fields before dawn, bending their bodies until their backs were warped, until their hands bled and toughened into knots of scar tissue. They harvested cotton in the heat of Mississippi summers, and rice and swamps and tobacco that clung to their lungs like poison. They were denied shoes and medicine, denied even their own names, whipped for praying, whipped for speaking their mother tongue, whipped for showing the smallest flicker of resistance in their eyes.
Yeah, because what was they speaking? Hebrew, you know. And they go back to that kind of somewhat going to that scripture, thou even thyself shall discontinue from thy heritage what I gave you. Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4. You know, we was script from our language. We was script from, you got your ass whooped for everything. You know, Esau was a fucking demon, man. That nigga, man, when the Lord allow us to understand what this nigga was doing to us, and you fucking niggas, man, you niggas, you Christians, you shouldn't have this kind of sympathy for this nigga, man. You nigga got all the sympathy in the world for the so-called white man, all the wicked shit he did. That nigga went too far during slavery. You can't just close the goddamn chapter of the book and go past it. Like that shit ain't never happened, man. That shit happened, man. That shit still affect you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans to this day. We are fucked up. That's why we need the Lord to return and change us, man. We still suffering from the atrocities that happened to us during slavery, post-slavery.
The women endured an additional hell. They were prey in their own cabins, subject to the whims of these masters. Rape was not an aberration, but an institution, a weapon used to produce more property children born.
Let me find that. It's another one in here. This Deuteronomy, I get this Deuteronomy 28 and 41. It say, thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. So I can look for another. This the book of this one I want. Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 30.
Prey in their own cabins, subject to the whims of these masters. Rape was not an aberration, but an institution, a weapon used to produce more property children born already enslaved. Their fate sealed at birth. Husbands stood powerless. Wives endured silently or fought and suffered worse. Daughters.
So they was raping the women, and they was raping every goddamn body. The men, the women, the boys, the girls, everybody. We all were getting raped, man. This fucking devil gotta pay. You goddamn... Hey, man. When we get you goddamn niggas, fuck Esau. When we get you niggas soon, when the Lord lift us up with that power, whichever brother get it, every brother got the same mindset. We gonna be fucking you niggas up, man. All you goddamn scoffers and mockers and niggas talking about the Hebrew Israelite this and the Hebrew Israelite that, we gonna fuck you niggas up, man. The white man can make it, okay. We gonna fuck you niggas up, and we gonna get your ass over to that same motherfucker you think got your best interest at heart. And watch what he do to you, man. This the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 30. It say, thou shalt betroth a wife, and another man shall lie with her. And thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Yeah, we were building all these fucking plantation homes for these devils, and we was living in fucking huts. You know? Straw houses and fucking mud shacks and shit. It say, and thou shalt not dwell therein, and thou shalt plant a vineyard, and thou shalt not gather the grapes. Yeah, cotton, rice, and all this other tobacco, all that shit they had us doing. We wasn't benefiting off of that. You know, they ain't even give a nigga a shoe. They ain't even allow you niggas. They ain't had a decent. Let's at least get these niggas some shoes. They gonna get some more precepts, man. You fucking devils gonna pay. We gonna fuck y'all all the way up. It ain't gonna be no, nah, nigga. This the book of Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 1. It say, moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, which is Esau Edom. You know, ultimately America, but the capital of Esau Edom is Babylon the Great. This is Mount Seir, America. It say, and prophesy against it. It say, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee. Yeah, the Lord is against America, and the Lord is against you fucking Edomites, man. It say, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make it most desolate. This place is finna be a desolation, man. A wilderness. It say, and I will lay the city waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Yeah, so you fucking devils finna pay, man. Verse 6, it say, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will pursue thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. So you devils better get ready, because blood is finna be on your ass. Matter of fact, let me get another one.
Learned too soon that they had no protection. Every intimacy was violated. Every relationship was shadowed by the knowledge that it could be destroyed in an instant by a sales slip or an owner's desire. And yet still they carved out humanity where none was allowed. They sang spirituals in fields and carried codes for escape. They wove African rhythms into new songs that would one day give birth to the blues and gospel.
Yeah, because we are the Lord's chosen people. It's another precept which I ain't gonna get. It say, sang us some of those songs of Zion, roughly paraphrase. Let's get this for you devils, man. Devils gonna pay, man. I know I spelled it wrong. This the book of Job, chapter 27 and verse 14. It say, if his children be multiplied, it is for the sword, and his offspring shall not be satisfied with bread. Let's go get another one. Well, it wasn't me. It was my. You ain't never been a slave, and I ain't never put nobody in slavery. Bitch, you going in slavery. I don't give a damn. And everybody in America, none of you crackers in America going into slavery when the Lord return. Your ass gonna get ate with fire. That fire gonna eat your ass up, and then you gonna be born in slavery. For all you people in America, all you Edomites in America, and you heathens in America, you gonna die here. You gonna die in this God-forsaken world. Land. By thermonuclear destruction. Thus saith the Lord. I don't need nobody. This the book of Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 21. It say, prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers. So slaughter is being prepared for you Edomites. Why? For the iniquity of your fathers, man. So you can't escape with that. I ain't had nobody in slavery. Well, your goddamn father did, so you gotta pay, buddy. It say that they do not rise nor possess the land nor fill the face of the world with cities. Yeah, so you devils finna be taken down, and you're gonna be subdued. Verse 22 it say, for I will raise up against them, saith the Lord of hosts, and cut off from Babylon the name, the remnant, the son, and the nephew, going to you Edomites, man. Saith the Lord. Yeah, so the Lord got something for you, man. Verse 23, just backing up what I said, the Lord gonna destroy this place with nuclear missiles. And I will also make it a possession for the bitterns and pools of water. It say, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction, saith the Lord of hosts. Yep, so the Lord gonna sweep this place with that fire, man. You know?
And jazz. They whispered stories at night to their children so that memory could outlive the overseer's lash. And they built resistance in the quiet and sometimes in fire and flight, reminding the world that no chain can fully hold the human spirit. There is no pain in this world like the scream of a mother watching her child carried off to the auction block. If you can imagine it, the sun beating down on the courthouse square, men in waistcoats laughing and tallying their bids, and in the middle of it all, a child pulled from the arms that bore them. Small hands reaching, a voice breaking, his mother collapsing as strangers drag away her baby. That child will never see her face again. He will be raised by those who see him as nothing more than labor and profit and property, and she will wake every morning for the rest of her life, still aching for the child she can no longer feed.
I gotta read Deuteronomy 20. I gotta read it again, man. Because we are the people of the book, man. These curses have befell us. You know, and this he probably came across the Israelites and jumped in his research. See, these devils, a lot of these Edomites know the wickedness that they was doing to us, man. You know, they know different stories and shit that was told them from their grandparents, from that was passed down, going through they history. You think they let that shit go? They probably got different articles and shit that was between them, just what, not articles, but you know what I'm saying, like plaques and pictures and letters and all kind of demonic shit of what they did to us, man. Them flyers, you know, to remember they wicked ass history. Reread it.
Is nothing more than labor and profit and property, and she will wake every morning for the rest of her life, still aching for the child she can no longer feed. Her soul clawing.
This the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 32. It say, thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people, and thine eyes shall look and fail for longing all the day long. And there shall be no might in thy hand. Wasn't shit you could fucking do to get your baby back, man. And you know how the nigga, a nigga woman with some kind of, decency, a mother, I say a mother, a true mother, feel about their goddamn baby, man. you know? Hey man, we need the Lord to come back and heal us, man. We done been through some shit as a people. And we need Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. We need Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, to send his only begotten Son back, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ, to deliver us, man. That's why, hey, that scripture in Revelation 20, if I ain't mistaken, 21:20, will say the Lord gonna return and he gonna wipe all tears from our eyes, man. We catch pure hell down. This is fucking hell, man. You know? If you don't know what hell is, goddamn, take a nap and wake and just all you gotta do just wake up. Shit, you gonna wake up in hell. Your ass goddamn good. Just go to sleep and wake up. Goddamn. Welcome to hell. You know? Read Deuteronomy 28 and 40 and 41 again. It say, thou shalt beget, have, birth, sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them. Why? Because they getting snatched off and put on auction blocks, sent from Mississippi way to goddamn Maine. Sent from goddamn Mississippi to North Carolina, some crazy shit. You know? To goddamn sundown town somewhere where, you know, an area where it was a sundown town in that time. But the thing is, man, we gonna have sundown towns in the kingdom. Yo ass gonna work up from sun up to sundown. That's gonna be the town, goddamn. You ain't gonna be waking. We gonna fuck you devils up, man. Hey, man. And buddy, you telling this poem, goddamn, you reading. I ain't reading no poem, just talking shit. You better hope you a fucking Israelite, man, or you better hope you anything but an Edomite, because the Edomites gonna pay. For real, for real.
Got a void that can never be filled. And this was not rare. This was not an accident. This was the machinery of American slavery. Families were currency. Husbands were sold away from wives. Children sold away from both. Brothers and sisters scattered to the winds, and the ones left behind were forced to keep working in the fields while their hearts broke in silence.
Yep. We call pure hell, man. Pure hell. That's why when you see these devils crying because they can't afford to eat and they gotta decide whether they gonna feed their kid. Bitch, shut up. Nigga, shut up. I want to hear that shit. You know? Everybody crying for the suffering they could. Well, what about the niggas in slavery, man? So-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You know? What about all the atrocities that happen to us? Don't nobody, everybody crying about the shit happening to these people, but don't nobody want to remember what the fuck happened to us, man. I'm crying for you motherfuckers. Y'all ain't gotta never eat again and fucking pine away like the scripture said. We don't give a fuck. Nobody want to hear that sob shit. You know? And these Edomites, look, we been struggling, so shit. Until goddamn hyperinflation kick in, this shit ain't nothing to us. Black folks, Negro, Latino, we been going through this shit. This shit is affecting these devils, man. Worse. You know? But the time come where we all gonna feel it. But they feeling it before we feeling it. Cause they ain't used to this shit. They ain't used to struggling. Barely making, scraping by. Damn, I was thinking of the preacher.
Children sold away from both. Brothers and sisters scattered to the winds, and the ones left behind were forced to keep working in the fields while their hearts broke in silence. The masters called it business, but the enslaved called it hell. And when someone smoked...
Didn't I just say that? I ain't even hear him say that when I first watched it. You know? We in hell. We still in hell. Just because you ain't got there getting butt broke and gator baited and whipped and, you know, your ass still in captivity. You still in hell. And it's finna come, they finna try to bring it back in a real way with that. Cool. Let's see here. Be finna go into that if I ain't mistaken. Damn. I was thinking of a precept. Let me go back.
Left behind were forced to keep working in the fields while their hearts broke in silence. The masters called it business, but the enslaved called it hell.
Damn,
The child she can no longer feed, her soul clawing at a void that can never be filled. And this was not rare. This was not an accident. This was the machinery of American slavery. Families were currency. Husbands were sold away from wives. Children sold away from both. Brothers and sisters scattered to the winds, and the ones left behind were forced to keep working in the fields while their hearts broke in silence. The masters called it business, but the enslaved called it hell. And when someone smugly says that slavery was better than being killed, ask them to answer this: would you tell a mother that her child's sale was preferable to death? Would you look into the eyes of a father who watched his daughter dragged off into the arms of a leering master and say, at least she's alive? What kind of life is that? What kind of man calls that survival? And death is final, but it is honest. And
this dude might be an Israelite though. You know, he might be an Israelite, just look like an Edomite. It's a lot of Edomites out there. A lot of people out there look like Edomites that are actually, their lineage go back to Israel, man. Because he, he could be the devil still, but, just reading this, he really have a heart, it's, y'all know what I'm talking about. He really, he like he heard about the shit. Edomite don't give a fuck. Edomites don't feel that way towards the atrocities that happen to us. That's what I'm trying to say. Say it in my dumb terms. Shit, the Edomite ain't gonna feel this way about what's going on with Israelites. The shit that happened to us. Edomite say some poison, just get over it. That's some shit a devil will say. Get over it.
slavery was a slow motion death, a tearing apart of families, of dignity, of soul, spread out over decades. It was the theft of generations. To say that such a fate was somehow a mercy is to speak with the voice of a slaver, not a free man. But we are not numb.
It's all good, cause shit, guess what? The Lord said, there's no peace to the wicked. Ain't no peace coming to you motherfucking devils, man.
So remember the ships where black bodies lay chained in darkness, unable to move, suffocating in the stench.
Let me stop playing. It's too late for that. I gotta go to sleep. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 16. He said something about some ships.
Man. But we are not numb. So remember the ships where black bodies lay chained in darkness, unable to move.
Yeah, them ships that when we came into Egypt again. This is the book of Deuteronomy 28 and 16. It say, and the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. Egypt just mean the house of bondage. It say, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again. Going into our homeland, and there ye shall be sold as bondmen and bondwomen on the auction blocks, and no man shall buy you, meaning redeem you. When you go into that word, that root word is redeem. Redeem you.
Suffocating in the stench of their own survival. Remember the branding irons pressed to flesh, the iron collars that cut into throats, and the runaway.
Yeah, and the branding irons was the ancient way of marking your animals, your cattle, your slaves, your servants, your perpetual servants. You marked them with branding irons. You bore the ear with a awl. You did these different things to mark your slaves. And what's the new and improved and modernized, more convenient way to mark a slave? That C-hip, the mark of the beast, that RFID subdermal device, NFC track and trace and monitor device that they plan on putting in all the worlds, Old, young, small, great, free, poor. Great nations and small nations. Big nations and tall nations. All nations looking at.
Notices nailed to courthouse doors as though men and women were livestock. Remember lynching staged as town carnivals, postcards of black men hanging from trees passed around like trophies. Remember Tulsa and Rosewood and Elaine, Arkansas, and the burning of futures that dared to bloom. This is the inheritance of slavery, and no cartoon will ever wash it clean.
Shameful spewing. That's what I was thinking of the water you have about me outside. Because this is the shameful. That shit was shameful. We ain't gonna have shameful spewing on our glory that's coming. I know I ain't spilling it right. Maybe so. This is the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 16. It say thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink also. That's why Trump trying to do something about a museum. Let's not talk about slavery. Nah, nigga, we ain't gonna. Yeah, hey, man, you fucking devil, boy. We ain't gonna talk about slavery when we got y'all ass in slavery, goddamn. Ain't gonna never be brought up. Ain't nobody gonna have no ear to hear you, man. You know, you better go read Lazarus and the Rich Man. Rich Man. Yeah, it's gonna be a great gulf fix between us and y'all ass, just like it's a great gulf fix between them and us right now. It say, thou art filled with shame for glory, drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory, man. You know, so Esau glory, America great, and this what made America great, and this made us a superpower. It was because free labor, man. You know, and having the Lord's people in captivity, and during that time, Jake was coming up with all kind of fucking inventions that changed the world to what it is now. And that kind of go into that one thing. Hard times make tough men, and tough men make good times, and good times make weak men. And we in the time with good times making weak men. In them hard times in slavery, Jake was inventive, however you say it, like a motherfucker, making all kind of different things. Post slavery, Jake was making all kind of shit. You know? Just like old buddy making the fuel out of plastiline looking ass, you know? Let me stop. But buddy coming up with that's the shit Jake was doing. Imagine how amazing the kingdom gonna be when we be in our full. Hey man, this shit's stressful. We gotta get the fuck up out of here, and we can't wait till the Lord just shut this bitch down. All we gonna do is just trust in the Lord, pray, hope that the Lord have mercy on us and deliver us up out this shit, man. But shameful spewing is being brought on this nigga's glory, man. But that nigga going into captivity. Don't be no shameful spewing on our glory. This the book of Zechariah chapter 1 and verse 15. It say, and I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are round about. It say, for I was but a little displeased, but they helped forward the affliction. Yeah, so the Lord finna fuck you devils up, man. He was just a little displeased with the Israelites. He wasn't that. They took it to a whole brand new level. Butt breaking and shit. The Lord ain't command the devil to butt break us, man. You know? Gator bait. The Lord ain't tell this nigga to, you know? But the Lord did give us over to his hand. And Esau just the devil, man. Verse 16 it say, therefore thus saith the Lord, I am returning to Jerusalem with mercies. Yeah, with this we got mercies, having this knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and the Lord is coming to you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans out there, even the 2/3, and presenting this truth before you. If you cleave unto it, you'll be saved. If not, which that's what the 2/3 gonna do. They not gonna cleave into it. They gonna be destroyed, man. Simple as that. It say, and my house shall be built in it. It say, saith the Lord of hosts, and the line shall be stretched forth upon Jerusalem. Let's get this, because it's all good, though. This the book of Deuteronomy. Let's go back to Obadiah. This Obadiah 1 and verse 15 to say, for the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall be upon thine own head. So a reward, Esau, you got a reward coming too, nigga. Slavery, hardcore bondage, and we gonna beat your ass. We gonna beat you purple and blue, man. You know. And I'm going to close it out with this one. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, and verse 7. I know there's other precepts you can get, but, due to the time, I'm going to close out. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, and verse 7. It say, and the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. So, call Elohim La Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai for that, man. The Lord is going to fuck you devils up, man. And the Lord say he scourges his enemies 1,000 times more. So if the Lord was only a little displeased at us and he scourges his enemies 1,000 times more, oh my goodness, man, you fucking heathens. Like the scriptures say, better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. So all the hell that's finna come upon us in this last time, the worst time ever, it's gonna be the end of a thing. But guess what? You people ain't gonna escape Jacob's trouble. You heathens gonna be right in the midst of the calamities, man. And that's the beginning of your punishment. The nukes, that's the beginning of your punishment. Laser beam from the chariots, the terrible earthquakes, living through that time on this earth, you first fruits of slavery, that's gonna be the beginning of your punishment. Your ass gonna go into slavery, man. We gonna have them chains so goddamn tight around your fucking neck, man. Might snap a couple of you motherfuckers' head off your shoulder with the chain. Slap that bitch on so goddamn tight. Hey man, but Lord willing, this was edifying. I want to end it giving all honor and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Hakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone Rule. We have been a great example to his young brothers in the truth. Peace and blessings to the whole elect. Shalom. Kwame Shalom. And the Baba Shalom.